Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you another video. Alright, so we're doing the legal thing. I'm walking down the street. I've checked out of the hotel. I got everything done. She returned to me both of my deposits, which was $30 total for cleaning and key. And she told me more or less that she can't tell me when to come back to replenish a new contract. But I understood that. So I said, okay, I'll come back another time. So I'm gonna walk around for about 10-15 minutes. My stuff is underneath the stairs. I'm not leaving, but yeah, man, it was beautiful because when I was down there, one of the ladies who had done this before told me that as long as I check all the way out, if everything goes well with the room, there shouldn't be a reason why they wouldn't welcome me back again, right? But it's like a type of no, not really, because the idea is that you can only stay 21 days. So, all right, I would love to like take a day off, but I ain't really got nowhere to go. So it's understood that I'm staying. It's just, we gotta, make it look legal, so to speak. So my stuff is underneath the stairs. Hopefully nobody steals it, but they got a camera right next to that thing. So I'm here to tell everybody that the Lord worked it out like I thought he would, man. I didn't know how he was gonna do it, but I can stay. That's the point. I can stay. I don't have to leave. And my family forwarded me the cash to get it done. And I got so much thankfulness for everybody that helped me, man. Both my friends and family, who are all family, as I've already said on this camera today. I love all of y'all, whether you gave me $1 or not. I put value on money as it pertains to what needs to be done, so I have respect for money. But at the end of the day, everybody who gave me support, everybody who given me support, that's valuable to me, man. That's valuable to me. So even the people at the hotel, luckily enough, it's one of the ladies that I get along with very well. I get along with everybody in there, but it's two of the ladies that know me better than the others, the night crew. And so I was most definitely able to kind of work it out with this lady. I told her, I was like, I don't have nowhere to go. She was like, okay, well, I can't tell you when to come back. I was like, say no more. I'll come back another time. So I figured I'd give it some time, even though I'm kind of risking it with my stuff being under the stairs. Nobody's watching my stuff, but like I said, they got a camera pointed right in that direction, so we'll know who took whatever if somebody takes something. And like I said, for me, it's just about making sure I do my part with them so that they don't feel like I'm tripping, trying to break rules and make life harder on them, because we're not supposed to be doing this. So that's what it is, man. I'm just a very thankful individual that all the stuff that I wanted to jump off a roof about is not really manifesting. I don't have to live in a shelter. At least it doesn't appear I do. You know what I mean? And so hopefully these next couple of weeks I can start doing some things that help me, at least I have a better understanding of who I am and what it is I'm struggling with. I'm not telling my family I'm gonna do something I'm not gonna do, but at the same time I'm not gonna tell myself I can't do something that maybe I would be able to do. And that's really what it's about. It's finding that balance between, okay, yeah, I got mental health issues, and I'm somebody who worked security for 10 years. I did. Now, did I hate it? Yes. Was it doable? Yeah. Did it end poorly each time? Unfortunately, it did. And that's part of it. Like, it's not like I can just sit there for an indefinite amount of time and see myself wanting to do it. It really makes me unhappy. And when it's time to initiate it, I have to want to initiate it, or otherwise I just end up at war with myself. But when you see these type of circumstances take place and you see your family come through in the way that they are, you want to honor them by doing whatever you can. And so I think that's what I've learned on this side of town, that there are things I can do. Sell art. I don't want to waste the next week or so, or 3 weeks, or whatever the time I would be here, the way that I spent the first 3 weeks, because I understand better this go round. So like some of the stuff that I did last night, looking for apartments, trying to find different things, I can be proactive in that every day. Getting in programs, trying to get the GR stuff, I can be proactive in that every day. Starting to look for paths to sell the art, I can be proactive in that every day. So I don't anticipate for any reason whatsoever that I would otherwise be someone who continues on the path that I was on, because I have so much more respect for my own mental health and why I did what I did. So much more respect for the fact that I have been a burden to my family significantly financially, for which I want to pay them back even though they're not asking me to. These are gifts that they're giving me, and I appreciate it because it's helping me keep from living on the street. But what I did to live on the street, or put myself in this position rather, was not anything that I did for any other reason in my head wasn't really getting the help that it needs. So rather than to beat myself up and say, okay, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna rupture my brain, nobody's asking me to do that. I'm not even asking that of myself. What I am saying is, within the parameters of what it is you can control, and with the talent that you have, let's try to work in a way that works with my brain, so that I don't ever have another Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So that I never have another Friday again. Because Tuesday, obviously, you guys following me. Tuesday, I was just running around. It was so hard to live that day. And then Friday, I just had woken up out of the worst dream that I'd ever had, and it was based on the realities of these circumstances. So having lived through those days, including this morning, walking back from that place not knowing if I was going to be able to stay here, probably thinking I wouldn't be able to. It was another one of them hard things, but I told y'all then, I was like, I'm going to believe that God is real because he's already proven that to me. When he's already proven stuff, you can stand on faith even though it's very difficult. And it was very difficult. Walking back from that place was extremely difficult for me. And I captured the whole thing. But I told y'all, and in the presence of that, I was not going to find myself giving up on God or myself, because this wasn't for nothing. None of this stuff that I just learned, all the stuff that I endured, it wasn't for nothing. And if I was going to quit with those realities being in mind, I would have did it on Tuesday, not today, when it looked like things were going to play out the way that they ultimately did not. And that's what I want people to understand. It's not about whether or not I believe in God. It's about you have the temperament to wait on him. You know, and that's what I'm learning to gather. This is yet another one of those examples of where applying my faith was a much better predictor than my doubt. And even though everything in my heart and soul told me to go to the highest point and jump, the reality was he had already proven through the timing of everything that had already happened that my faith was a better predictor than my doubt. So that faith you could trust. He loves you. He's gonna take care of you. You don't have to feel bad about nothing. You don't have to feel bad about anything other than the fact that you gotta wait on him to once again come through. I told y'all, I don't know what God was gonna do, but I was gonna thank him for it ahead of time, because at this point, it's not me going out on a limb. It's me fighting that on my mental health, telling me a bunch of stuff that ain't true. And then the further beating myself up over what it is that I would otherwise want to do to live up to expectations for myself that I no longer have. I know what I can do. I know what I cannot do. And I also know that I can push those limits at times at absolute random. And it doesn't make any sense, and neither does what it is I fight with every day in my mental health. I kept a job for 3 years. I was around people, you know, outside of being isolated for 10 years at Children's Club. I've hung out with my boys and all of that, or I end up spending the night in a hotel room with them with nothing but us. I used to spend the night with my boy Lester House every day. There's no consistency to my mental health, and I wish I would have been able to express that to my sister today when I was expressing to her what I had gone through. Because I can look at pockets at a time, long pockets at a time, where I felt no anxiety, nothing but comfort. There's no consistency to that. But what I can say is what I suffer through when I do suffer, when it hits, it's hard, man. And when it lasts, it lasts. And there is a cycle to this. Work for a couple years, stay in isolation for a year. Work for a couple years, stay in isolation for a year. And this last go round, I promised myself I was never going to go back to work because I was leaning on the AMC and all this other stuff that ultimately didn't manifest into any money. And while I believe in AMC and what we're doing, at some point in time, one has to say, I'm not holding for the reasons that I need to be. I need to be holding and building my position naturally. And I wasn't doing that. I was picking from it. So I wasn't enabled the right way. I had the right idea and I believed in the right stuff, but I wasn't doing it the right way. And I couldn't. And so that's what I come to understand, my own limitations, based on what it is in my head will either allow me to do or not allow me to do, based on whatever the heck I have yet to figure out. Hopefully I can get some help for that, to know what triggers me into these cycles, what triggers me out of those cycles, and ultimately what really caused this. And so If there's an answer to it, let's find that answer. If there's no answer to it, let's manage it better. And that's what it's about. Information will keep you from being so defeatist in life. Sometimes you just need to look up solutions. Sometimes you may not be able to. If you're like me, you may not feel like you're able to look up solutions. But it's that information that eased my mind. The more I knew, the more I was able to accept myself and not allow myself to feel so defeated. It was that defeatist attitude that, coupled with that mental health, that often made me feel so bad and so sad. But there ain't no reason to feel that way no more. Now we just got to fight through what we're fighting through so we can get to the next stage of life, which will allow me to have the GR paperwork that I, can get my own place. The SSI work that ultimately allow me to have the money that comes in for the fact that I can't work, or the notion I can't work, or whatever the truth may be. And then from there, I can start working around my mental health in ways that don't fail me. Because that's ultimately what it is. I'm working around my mental health in ways that failed me. And so I'm blessed, man. Very blessed to know that I have a family that can help. Very blessed to know that this didn't make me a worse human being. Very blessed to know that I have much greater respect for people who go through circumstances such as these. Much greater respect for know that my God is an awesome God. And when he tells you to follow the Spirit and you have the ability to do so, following it is the best way forward. I encourage everybody to meditate, whether you have mental health issues or not, whether you're a part of something positive or not. Get that relationship with God that will allow you somehow to know what it is that ultimately you need to know that may not be available to you with your natural mind, so to speak. And natural mind to tell you life is bleak, I'm hopeless, this is about to be bad. There is another consciousness that you need to find for yourself that will allow you to know what there is to know about your circumstance, about what can be possible and all these different things. There's another way. And that's what I'm trying to help everybody understand. And I found that somehow. In the presence of all my struggles, I found another way forward that doesn't have anything to do with my doubt, that doesn't have anything to do with my frustrations, that doesn't have anything to do with mental health and nothing. It's called a patience to believe in a higher power. Maybe your religion will help you receive that. Maybe you don't believe in going to church. Maybe you like me. I don't want to go to church because I got to be around a lot of people all the time when I go to church. I don't want to be a part of a close fellowship because I anticipate not appreciating that for whatever reason. But you also know you can ask that for the strength to do it, which is something I'm barely understanding. It's like, I don't have to succumb to these anxieties as much as I have to just know who to ask help from. And it's that same spirit that you listen to. It's going to tell you how to get around that, or that you can't get around that and how to move accordingly with that. So it's like that faith and that relationship with the Most High, regardless of what his name is in your life. I tell you, the world has tried to disarm us from believing in God or believing that we can help others get to God because of what his name may be, because of what it says in the various books that we read, because of what, and I'm telling you, he can be in all of those things. People believe so strongly in their religion because they find him in it. That's the reality of it. And a lot of times there are people in those religions or circumstances or teachings in those religions that will pin you against others, because that is ultimately the evil that humans put into these religions when they want to be a part of what the enemy's about. But it ain't much deeper than we have the same enemy. So of course you going to the same God regardless of what path you take to get to him. You got the same enemy. It's the same devil trying to attack the Buddhists. It's the same devil trying to attack the Christians. It's the same devil trying to attack the atheists. It's the same devil trying to attack Muslims and any other religion I'm not aware of. You got the same enemy. You got to work against the same inner demons and outer demons. And a lot of them are going to claim to be of God. A lot of them are going to claim to be God people. There ain't none of them working in love. Then they don't know of the God that's ultimately guiding me not to hurt myself in these circumstances. Because it's love for self, love for family, love for people that care for me in my life. I don't want to put them through nothing by escaping life. I don't want to put them through the bereavement of having to say I failed him or he failed life and I loved him for no reason, or whatever would go through their heads for me quitting. That's what the wisdom of is that I've learned. That's the wisdom of it all. That your God, regardless of what you call him, he is looking to help you raise your family or devise ways so that you can have a family. That's what he wants to do. He wants to put you in a position so that your kids, regardless of what religion you have, can be raised and cultivated with the Holy Spirit in them, so that they can too get through the difficult times they go through in their lives. That's what the religion should be teaching us. And so if you can find that inner peace and that love for self and love for higher power, and you apply that God variable in whatever way you were raised to, I promise you, you're going to have that guidance. And I used to get frustrated with my mother because every time I'd have a problem, she'd say, just go to the Holy Spirit. And I'd be like, I need tangible solutions. That's why I don't get mad at people who talk like that, because I was like that. Like, Mom, I believe in God, but you're not telling me where to go for get the help. But you never know what comes with what. That's the point. Maybe the solution she gives you puts you in a position to where you go and do the wrong thing. Maybe it's not even about doing the wrong thing. Maybe you just ain't supposed to be getting in a car that day. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing I went through on Monday. The Spirit was telling me to stay in the room. Now, if I would have went and did everything I was supposed to do, would it have led to what ultimately the Lord really wanted for me? I don't think so. But I was supposed to do it, because everything in math, everything in the world around me, everything in regards to my circumstance, everything that had to do with everything needed for me to leave the house, leave the hotel room, go do this, that, and the third. And that's not what the Spirit was telling me to do. The Spirit was telling me to stay still. And I was frustrated with the Spirit. But the Spirit helped me understand. You don't know what comes with what. For all you know, you go outside and that be the end of your life trying to do what you're supposed to do. You have a connection to the Holy Spirit because you have purpose. And within that purpose will be a guidance to that purpose. So you're not going to stumble into nothing that's not meant for you, because you are connected to something that has a written path for you already. And that love for self will keep you guided on that path regardless of what the world's got going on. You sense things in yourself by way of that Spirit that your consciousness never will. And that's what I've been proving. It's not just me talking. That's what I've been proving. And that's what I've been trying to show all of you as early as an hour and a half ago. When I was coming back, didn't know where I was going to sleep tonight, and the Lord was giving me that thumbs up that I was telling y'all about, that always comes to me when everything's fine, even when it looked like it's not. I'm going to trust it even more now because it's proven. Just like any other proof you need in life. You're going to find that proof in the timing, and you're going to find that in that meditative spirit that loves you. Now it's time for me to go back in.